Happy Friday, everyone. Back to another market analysis session. Today, we are going to talk about northwestern suburbs with your local buyer's agent, Arnab Nandi. Here we go. So this is the auction clearance versus withdrawn and passed in. Now, as you may remember, we talked about trend. You can see it's the trending. The trend is going up. For so auction clearance rate is in blue color, and you can see the trend is going up towards 80%. So which means it's pretty good in terms of the selling that is happening through auctions. And you can also see that the withdrawal is coming down significantly from somewhere around 6 to now, let's say under 4. So looks like we are heading towards sellers. I wouldn't say sellers market, but yes, favoring sellers. Now let's just compare with what we had in 2024. Now you can see that completely opposite. Started on a higher note, but slowly it progressed into the lower territory, which means less clearance rates, more number of withdrawals or passed ins, and that was the story. However, we had some good sort of graph in 2023 where things were moving pretty fast. Even the withdrawals were higher, but the auctions were pretty good. Now let's look at the total house listings and what's the story here. So I have picked a few suburbs which I thought makes the most or biggest difference here. Now you can see the number of listings in Quakers Hill is staying around the 40s, and sorry, this is Scofield's. So around the 40s, or maximum it has gone to 50s. Now this is pretty consistent with the previous years, which I'll show you. But where the difference is coming is in the rest of these suburbs. This one is Quakers Hill. Quakers Hill typically stays in the 40s range, or high 30s and 40s range. Now it is showing 24, so it is staying in the 20s range for quite some time. That means there is low supply. So when low supply happens, and the reason being sellers are not getting their prices, they tend to not sell, and the supply comes down. And when buyer demand increases, which is what we are seeing now, the prices start to rise. Glenwood, interesting story. Now you can see Glenwood stayed in pretty much the around the 20s. Okay, and this is I would say still it's coming down for sure, but it stayed on pretty much on the higher side. From wouldn't say from 2024, but 2024 was still higher. It has come down a bit, but generally Glenwood stays in the tens. So you can see still there are towards high tens means it's still fine. And the shocker, I think this is the shocker that you have to see, is Pons. Pons stays in the 40s now. Consistently, it is under 30, and now it is pretty close to the 20s. Now, or it's showing, sorry, pretty close to the tens. Now that means there is going to be more competition in the ponds, because the supply has dramatically come down. Let's quickly look at 2024. Same suburbs, as I was saying. This is Schofield, stayed like very high. 60s, around the 60s, 50s, 60s. We are seeing in 40s, 50s, but it's not too low, and definitely lower than the higher numbers. So Quakers Hill, as I was saying, it stays I said in the 40s, but yes, it's 40s, 50s, so quite high, but now it's lower than that. Bonds, as you can see, 40s, yeah, it's 40, 41. Now it's down in the tens. It's that bonds has seen the most dramatic dip in supply. So it's going to be very, very tricky. Glenwood had a lot of stock in 2024, and that's why you could see prices were stable in Glenwood, or there were some great deals in Glenwood in 2024. But 2025, it's falling. It's not bad. It's not as, I would say, um, as in 2023. You can see it stays low. It stays low around the tens, around the tens. So that's where Glenwood stays. Now let's quickly look at Kellyville Ridge. This is something one of the members have requested. So I'll just go and look at Kellyville Ridge. All righty. Okay, so here, so I have updated the sheet. You can see there had been significantly high number of listings in Kellyville Ridge, which has been the story, I would say, till now, because now it is showing intense. So from I would say July or mid June onwards, it has fallen, which means the sales have happened, or um, people are not selling, and the number of listings have come down. Kellyville Ridge in 2024, I have seen is the highest. So which means definitely there were like pretty good deals in Kellyville Ridge, which is what we have seen as well. 2023. And yes, we see it climbing. I think this is what triggered Kellyville Ridge stock levels to 40s. But traditionally, this is where it stays. It stays in the tens, around the 20s maximum. So if I look at Kellyville Ridge now, around the 20s is still fine. But it's coming down. That may not be very good news for the buyers, but news for the sellers.